that governors will now, if your plan becomes law, will have to make choices that they didn't have to make now. If they have less money, that means somebody gets either less coverage under their current plan or someone gets no coverage at all. So can you say this morning on this show,
some of those governors that are getting an unequal distribution under Obamacare will have to make some choices. Yeah, but for example, for Governor Walker, we'll have more funding. Still, not as much as our population would indicate, but we'll certainly have more funding. This will be very beneficial for the state of Wisconsin.
People will lose coverage under your plan, Senator?
I can't guarantee that. The only guarantee is if we maintain with Obamacare, premiums have already doubled. And by the way, people covered, supposedly guaranteed coverage under pre-existing conditions under Obamacare. It's not an absolute guarantee. If you're one of those forgotten men and women that Bill Clinton are talking about, people out there busting it, working 60 hours a week, their premiums have doubled, in many cases tripled, coverage cut in half. Unless you quit your job and you have a pre-existing condition, you're not guaranteed coverage.
Senator,
so Obamacare is a disaster. Again, 90,000 notices to businesses, $5 billion in fines. Premiums have doubled. This is unsustainable. We're going to have to continue to throw billions of dollars into a failing system, which is one of the reasons the bipartisan effort, which I've been fully involved in. There have been some great discussions. They will continue.
Senator,
what this does is this puts us on a path to state control, more flexibility.
Senator, I just want to be very clear. I want to be clear because
be taken care of,
I want to be clear in an answer you gave a minute ago, because I think this is at the core of what we're talking about here. Will people who currently have coverage, medical coverage, lose it under your plan in the United States?
Listen, millions of people lost coverage under Obamacare.
Yes or no,
there are no guarantees other than the fact that premiums have already doubled. They'll continue to skyrocket. We're going to have to continue to throw money at a failing program. It just simply doesn't work.
Okay, Senator, let's try this one. And this is a pretty simple question, I think, because I'm a pretty simple person. There's a family...
Well, Mark, it's a pretty complex problem, so that's part of the problem with simple questions. There are no simple answers. There are no easy solutions.
There have to be simple answers for the people who you represent, and here's one of them. Somewhere in Wisconsin, there's a family with a 9 or a 10-year-old child with cystic fibrosis, currently covered under what you call the disaster of Obamacare. Can you tell that family that their premiums under your proposed bill that you're about to vote on, their premiums will not go up?
They certainly shouldn't go. They should be going down. Obamacare artificially doubled premiums nationally. So again, the state of Wisconsin will definitely get more funding because we've been really disadvantaged under Obamacare funding scheme right now. So no, in Wisconsin, we're going to do very, very well, but I think other states will as well. Maine, invisible high-risk pool. They instituted a guaranteed issue. They didn't repeal it. They supplanted it with invisible high-risk pool, and premiums for young people fell to a third of the level prior to that. For somebody my own age, about half. So there are ways of dealing with this, covering people with pre-existing and high-cost conditions without skyrocketing premiums or collapsing insurance markets. Obama is a failed model. It's a faulty architecture, and this would start put us on a path to start fixing it.
Senator, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. A yes or no answer here. I am begging you.
Mike,
can you guarantee that premiums
there are no
won't go up?
guarantees under Obamacare. I just pointed out individuals that are busting it, that are working hard, don't get subsidies. They're without coverage. Some of them have pre-existing conditions, so there are no absolute guarantees other than if we don't do anything, 90,000 notices, $5 billion in fines, premiums will remain doubled, they'll continue to skyrocket unless we inject tens of billions of dollars into a failed system. That's a guarantee. We're trying to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, one of the sponsors of the Graham-Cassidy legislation, now under review in the United States Senate.